Well, good Friday morning, Bakersfield, surrounding communities, everybody watching online on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk, 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m. I am Chris Burdick. That is Sparky. Sparky, good morning, my friend.
Good morning.
Let them know what they're in for.
Oh, we're going to talk all wrestling, SmackDown's tonight. Unreal just debuted season 2 on Netflix. No, but we'll get into some sports as well. We'll get into the new coach with the Baltimore Ravens. We've got all sorts of miscellaneous news. Plus, we'll got Showdown from Rodeo Pro Wrestling ahead of their event this weekend. He'll be joining us at 7:30, followed by the owner of the Well Comedy Club, Daniel Betts, will join us at 8 o'clock and preview the Hans Kim show. Let us know what's new in this new Well Comedy Club, and you can call or text in anytime at 661-842-2000.
There's a lot of wrestling to watch this weekend. If you're a wrestling fan, obviously. If you're a wrestling fan here locally, you got RPW Ascension, which you can find tickets for, I believe, on their Instagram is where the link you can find that is. And we'll talk to our guy Showdown, like Sparky said, at 7:30. And I believe there's also mini wrestling happening somewhere around town as well. A friend of mine sent me a flyer saying, "Oh, we got to go." And I'm like, I'm all for it. I love going to those events. They're so much fun. And the wrestlers are very, very good at what they do. But I'm going to pass on this one. I got Saturday night's main event. I got a ton to go and watch this weekend.
Oh, it's in 1933.
Yes.
Yeah, I've actually gone to Micromania Wrestling.
Micromania, that's
and
what
it is awesome.
It is. It's fantastic. It's so much fun. Highly recommend everybody go and watch it. It is one of those fun activities you and your friends can go do together just to have a couple laughs.
I drove all the way to
Well, no, it is. It's entertaining in that way. I don't mean to make it sound like you're going to be making fun of them, but it's just the bits that they do,
yes,
the stuff they do, and it's so great. You're going to have a good chuckle.
This Micromania is the league, and that's the same one we saw. We went out to the east side to the wing place out there, and it was awesome.
Yes.
It was awesome, and they entertain not only if you like wrestling or don't like wrestling, but they take the crowd and
they include will make you a part of it too, which I love, because their walk down is right in the middle of everybody, just like a traditional wrestling match. And if you want to, man, they will absolutely have you be a part of it. That's what I'm saying. You will have a couple laughs. You'll have a great time. Go down there, buy tickets. It was highly recommended.
It was disgusting because we were eating wings, and this guy grabs for my wings, I take it away. I'm like, get off my wings.
Oh, he took from yours?
And then he tried to lick the stuff off my fingers. And I'm like, all right, dude, get away from me, dude.
Okay. That's going a little too far. Yeah, that's going a little too far.
It was hilarious.
I see what you're trying to do there, and that's great. But I no, I can't do it. I can't get a part of that. But we will talk a lot of wrestling because, as Sparky said, Unreal Season 2, we both have gotten a chance to watch it and enjoy it and absorb as much as we can. Can't wait to get into that. And I loved how this entire season, at least from my perspective, and this is how I'll start it, but we'll get into this probably in the second hour. Did you notice this as well, Spark? But all of it was really John Cena adjacent. And obviously it's on purpose, because at the end of the season, you get the season 3 coming summer of 2026, which is going to be nothing but John Cena's final match, I would assume. But
I like
all of this.
They usually pick like 4 or 5 wrestlers and then kind of go around it. And, they threw in EO this time, which was awesome. I got to see a lot more of that.
Great to see in front of the camera.
I felt so bad for her.
I did too. For all of the grief that we've said on this show, including myself, I take full responsibility for it, because a lot of the time I do find her a little lackluster in the ring. And that's honestly, it's no fault of her own. I know she tries, but it's just what I'm looking for. It's not her. And I still respect her as a wrestler, though. She's an incredible worker. But yeah, no, watching this season, I felt so bad for her, especially watching that last episode and knowing now how that match was supposed to go. I'm like, oh no, sweetheart. Now I get it. Now I get the trajectory of where they sent you and why they sent you that way. And yeah, no, I totally understand now. But hopefully it's all for the better. Hopefully it's all going to make her a better wrestler, and we see her essentially turn into Becky, because that is what they're trying to do. They're trying to make her the next Becky. And honestly, she might have the build for it, but we'll get into that later. There's a ton of football news we got to get into. Starting first and foremost, the Baltimore Ravens have found their new head coach, Jesse Minter. I think we kind of saw this coming, that the Baltimore Ravens were going to be going for somebody more defensive minded. Personally, I thought the wait, or at least the extent of time in which we were waiting to find out who the next head coach was going to be, meant more that they were waiting for somebody that's still playing at the moment. But I think Jesse is a pretty good choice for this style team. He obviously has Harbaugh connections, so you're not going to be missing out on the Harbaugh-like feel to the team. And with a defensive mind, I think he can really get the most out of guys like Raekwon Smith, guys like Kyle Hamilton. I think this is going to be great for them. Now, the success part of all of this, though, is going to factor in on the offensive side. Who can you get that's going to balance this out and get the most out of Lamar Jackson solely? I know you have Derrick Henry. I know you're going to have probably Zay Flowers and a couple wide receivers coming in to help him out. But we need to find somebody that is going to take Lamar Jackson and do what Ben Johnson is doing to Caleb Williams. And I realize it's a little late to mold this piece of clay, but I think you could still mold it a little bit more to get him over the hump, over these guys like Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen easily, and get them into a Super Bowl. What say you?
I personally don't care for the pick, but I mean,
You don't think this is going to work out for them?
I don't think so.
No?
I just don't think I just don't think he's got it for Baltimore, and that type of team that they are. I mean, a lot of them are veterans that are already there. It really depends on. I mean, the issue wasn't the defense.
Mm-hmm.
I think the issue was on the offensive side. So it really depends on how much control and who they decide to bring in as offensive coordinator.
Fair.
But I don't personally like the pick. You guys, I mean, I was expecting more of a veteran presence, maybe like a Mike McCarthy or a Brian Flores. I think Brian Flores, I don't know if teams are, I think we got into it a little bit yesterday. I don't know if his mindset or the way he coaches are scaring teams off, or they're just kind of steering away because of the open lawsuits that he's got against the NFL. But I would have, if I was going to go defense, I would have went with somebody that has a little more experience with these types of defensive minded teams. But I mean, it really depends on who do you think they can bring in. If it's going to be somebody like a Shula or a Brady that comes in as their offensive coordinator, that, I mean, to really fix what's the problem is the Lamar and the whole offense, because I mean, I don't know if Lamar is too deep into this, because I've also heard a lot coming from Schefter that the Raiders are pushing hard to see if they can trade that number 1 pick and get Lamar, which I'm like, okay, and then try to build the offensive line around that in the later rounds. That would be interesting, but
I don't think Baltimore is looking to move off of Lamar, though.
yeah.
I mean, obviously, you would have to weigh all options here, especially getting a number 1 overall
But
pick.
if you
out
can
of
get
this.
a number 1 pick with the new coaching regime, maybe that's what,
and a
that's
Fernando
what'll fix
Mendoza
something.
coming in. Like, honestly, I talk about how I don't want him going to the Raiders just solely because of what I'm afraid of happening to him if he has a Raider offensive line in front of him. Oh, that's the other audio that I meant to grab too, that I have in my folder somewhere that I'll find. But Derek Carr agrees with me. Now, Derek says that he would really love to see Fernando as a Raider, but he agrees with me. Unless you put anything in front of him, I don't want to see that happen, because you're going to kill this kid.
Yeah,
this is not going to work out.
We shared that on our social media, and that is another something that I wanted to bring up, because if you're not watching or listening to that Carr podcast, you're missing out, because these guys, not only do they throw in a little local Easter eggs here and there, but they're just great on the mic.
Well, and obviously both of them have a lot of experience in it. They need to throw Darren in there, though. I would love an episode where they sit there and just talk about Darren. They had a whole bit where they talked about how good of a coach Darren was before the state championship game. I like it. Like you said, it's a fantastic podcast. Highly recommend you guys go check it out after this show if you haven't already. It's called Homegrown. It's just Derek and David sitting there talking football, talking just like me and Sparky do, pretty much, just all the major talking points. And they are fantastic. I think it comes out once a week. Something like that.
I believe so. And then some other coaching news. The newly offensive coordinator hired by the Chargers, Mr. Mike McDaniel, is now interviewing with the Buffalo Bills with their head coaching position. And just like Flores the day before, he's saying, you know, I I like this job. I'm looking forward to working with Harbaugh. But if I can get a head coaching position that's not in Cleveland, I will look at it. And I do not want to see him in Buffalo. As a Dolphin fan, I understand, and he'll probably jump on it just to be a Buffalo coach with all the disaster that's going on in Buffalo. I think that would be a key pickup. Right. I would take him and bring in Daboll as the offensive coordinator, and that might just fix some of their issues. But I was hoping that it was like a spam page when I read it, and this morning I was like,
well, I think a lot of these coaches that are taking coordinator gigs have that caveat in their contracts
something better
just in
comes.
case. Yeah, because there's always the possibility you get bumped up to a head coach. And, I was thinking of the Brian Flores situation, not to cycle back to it, but I think it is the mindset that Brian now has, but not necessarily in a negative way. I think Brian has learned from his first go round as a head coach, especially with the way it ended. And the fight that he went through between himself and the Miami Dolphins just to not play Tua. You know what I mean? And I think he's learned from that. And he's now reached a point in his life and his career where he's like, I've worked with guys like Mike Tomlin. I've worked with guys like Kevin O'Connell. And honestly, I've seen Belichick. I've seen teams hand over everything to a good head coach. I know I could be a good head coach. So I want that. I demand that. So I think that you're right on the spot when it comes to guys like that, or at least Brian Flores' situation, that I think he is just thinking about it more in that round where he's not going to go through the same BS he went through with the Dolphins.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I'm a head coach.
Now, when it comes to McDaniel, I think McDaniel should just take any good job that he could potentially get. If Buffalo is willing to give him the head coaching job, any offensive-minded coach would be stupid to say no to a head coaching job in which you get to go work with Josh Allen. So that is always going to be on the table. But I still stand by what I said. I just think that McDaniels is a good offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. He's a great offensive coordinator. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with being one of the best offensive coordinators in football. I just don't think he's got the leadership quality to be a head coach.
No.
At least not when he's not confident. Maybe when he's confident, he looks fine. He looks smart. He's very intelligent. He's charismatic. everybody loves watching him chase the camera into the locker room or run, sprint past it. It was always fun to watch. But just there's something missing from him.
They're also interviewing the Dolphins defensive coordinator. I'm like, all right.
So basically, we're just going to interview every option possible. Okay. Again, we talked enough about the Bills situation yesterday. I personally find them to be absolutely ridiculous, but they are at least trying to weigh every option that they have. It's just going to cycle back to Daboll, though. Let's be honest. Everything is going to cycle back
I think
to
the same thing
Daboll.
with Daboll. I think it's the same thing like you just said with McDaniel. I think he's a great coordinator, but I just don't think he's a head coach.
But
if somebody's going to hire him,
yeah, we'll see. And it's nice to know that McDaniels is at least weighing his options in the job category and is getting calls, because I did kind of feel like at some point there wasn't a lot of blame that should have went his way, especially with the play of some of the players. Just like Sean
McDermott. Calling is a little sketchy, but
yes, play calling at times was odd. But I mean, what head coach can't say that? You know what I mean?
If we were going to wrap up the coaching side, I mean, we're I think halfway through all the coaching vacancies. Yes. And I mean, is it the Raiders, the Browns, the Steelers, the Bills, and I believe there's one more. I'm more surprised that it seems like coaches are steering away from the Cleveland job.
Yes, and I think that's on purpose. I was going to bring that up. There's got to be something they're seeing in this job that they don't like. And I think it has to do with ownership. I think it has to do with whomever is doing the interviewing. And much like the Brian Flores situation, I think a lot of these guys are just reading the writing on the wall that they're not going to have the control they need to have as a head coach in order for them to be successful. And if this is more just dumpster fire-esque situation from the Cleveland Browns, then it'll just continuously be the Cleveland Browns continuing to brown.
Which is sad for players like, the world loves Shador, and we'd like to see if this guy is a starting quarterback, if he can get an offensive-minded coach that's behind him, whether that's a coordinator or a head coach. But it is surprising to me. I just thought maybe the Cleveland with the young talent they've got.
So the Cardinals were the team that we were forgetting.
Yes, the
The Cardinals
Cardinals.
are still out there as well, which is a interesting job. The only ones that are left that are actually enticing, in my opinion, are Pittsburgh and Buffalo. The other three are incredibly rough turnarounds, in my opinion. It's going to be real. Like, you're going to need someone on the level of Ben Johnson to be able to go in there and absolutely restructure the whole culture, because a lot of these teams are just, for some reason, there is a losing culture that is stuck in those buildings, and you need to just get it out. You got to exercise it. I don't know exactly how you do that, but Vegas, Cleveland, Arizona, there's something in the air that just stinks to coaches. I think Vegas, you could probably get somebody to come in just solely because it's Vegas, and the idea of working with somebody like Tom Brady and the Davis family and stuff is enticing. But teams like Cleveland, you're becoming more and more and more of a just last option.
Yeah, a joke.
Yeah, I can't honestly disagree with it either, because the way we've seen this team go the last couple seasons, true, they drafted great last year, but the front office has not given you any indication or any signs to say that they're willing to turn this around, or they're willing to do something different to turn this around. So I think the Cleveland job by far is the worst one. I can't think of anyone that's worse.
I thought that Tennessee was going to be up there with it. Arizona is probably a tough one, knowing you're probably going to go in there and
Tennessee,
be in
though,
quarterback search.
Tennessee, in my opinion, at least you're going into a situation where you have a starting quarterback and everybody else is so bad that your guys get to come in and start right away. Like, everybody on that roster needs a retooling outside of maybe Simmons. I forget about Simmons on the defensive side, but everybody else, I think you need a serious looking at and saying, nah, we can do better. We can do better at that position, that position, that position. I think that's why it entices guys like Robert Saleh, because you could sit there and say, okay, a lot of my guys that are free agents, I could pull them over. I could sit there and say, hey, come over here. You'll easily start on this team with me, and we'll get your career started. So I think that's more enticing. Where a place like Cleveland, where the ownership probably has some stake in who starts, especially since we're already hearing rumors that they're pushing for Deshaun to be the starting quarterback next
year. Did they not learn from last year?
And I get it. You're paying him ridiculous amounts of money to play football. So obviously you want some return on investment there, some ROI.
Good luck.
Yeah, you ain't going to get it. Sorry. The guy's been out of the game for far too long. It's just not going to work.
I mean, we just dealt with that issue last year with, owners and coaches, different, decisions on who they wanted at quarterback, and it turned into a joke.
I want more owners to take a page out of Steve Biscotti's book, please. Just please. Don't be a Jerry Jones. Don't be a Jerry Jones, Pagula, because that's what you're starting to look like to me. Don't be a Jerry Jones. Be an Art Rooney. Hire the guy. Get the hell out of the way. Let him do what he's hired to do. I just don't understand why I'm like, and I get it. A lot of these teams that are looking for head coaches this year are more popular teams. So obviously the media is going to be going and hitting their owners hard, especially with audio clips. But at what point do we just draw the line and say, dude, you got to take a break. Just back away. Let the GM and the coach do what they're supposed to do, and have them build the Super Bowl winner, please. Please. I don't know. I worry about it with Arthur Blank. I'm not going to lie to you. As a Falcons fan, I worry about it every single day. Every time I see Arthur talking, I'm like, bud, when we were in the Super Bowl, you weren't talking. You stepped away, said, DQ, do your thing. I got you, Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. Do your thing with the defense. And it got us to a Super Bowl with Michael Turner. I missed the Michael Turner days, but the Michael Turner days, we were right there. We had Devontae Freeman. We had a lot of great guys on that roster, but the owner wasn't part of it. He wasn't making himself the story. That's why I'm like, I hope some of these owners just take a page out of Biscotti's book and just say, I don't want to be known. I want to be known as the least known owner in all of sports. I loved that. When I heard that, I was like, see, that's a guy who gets it. And I feel for his family, because it does kind of suck that they won't be inheriting the team. But at the same time, I also respect that as well. because he's seen a lot of families, the Bus family, tear each other apart just solely so they can get a piece of that action. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to some people. Real quick, too, before we go to break, let's get into these end of the year finalists that were announced yesterday. Our final 5 for the MVP: Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Christian McCaffrey, Drake May, and Matthew Stafford. I'm pretty sure, though, everybody knows it's coming down to a 2-man race here between Stafford and May, although the other 3 had fantastic seasons. Josh Allen, 3,668 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. We all know Christian McCaffrey dang near led the San Francisco 49ers in both rushing and passing yards. Actually, I think he might have led in receiving yards.
I think he's the first player in these award history to be on the MVP list and the comeback player of the year list.
Which, I mean, with his career, that's not surprising at all.
They should just call it the McCaffrey Award.
They really should. But at this point, I mean, Drake May, 4,394 yards, 31 touchdowns, 8 picks against Matthew Stafford's 4,700 yards, 46 touchdowns, and I believe 8 interceptions as well. I think it's got to go to Staffy. I know I've been on the I've been on the Drake May train for a while. I like what I saw from him this year. He is the most accurate quarterback in football. But Matthew Stafford and what this offense has been able to do with the LA Rams, even though they're a wild card team, it's hard for me to say that Matthew Stafford does not deserve to win his first MVP this year. What's your thoughts?
Oh, I think it's Stafford all the way.
Yeah.
I think if you just look at the stats, I mean, I get it. Drake May had a hell of a year, and I'm sure if he can continue in the future of, he'll get his. But I think this year, just by looking at what we've seen, the stats, I don't care. Everybody just complains, he's got Devontae Adams. He's got, all these guys. Well, that's a team.
Yeah.
That's a team that was built.
He doesn't like. I love how people say that, though. And don't get me wrong.
Anybody could do it.
Yeah, I get that that's an additive. I really do, that you have 2 Hall of Famers. I've been one to say it myself. Like, that does, in some ways, kind of bring it down a little bit. But he doesn't choose who his teammates are. Like, this guy
40
just
plus touchdowns. Yeah, that's MVP rate, man.
He's also made wide receivers look so good. I mean, I love Cooper Kupp, but can we all agree that he probably made Cooper look better than he actually was, especially now? Like, I think we can all agree to that. If Cooper Kupp didn't have Matthew Stafford, he's not going to be a Triple Crown winner.
I personally just think it's Stafford, and I don't think it's even close.
Well, again, I think they give it to Stafford because it would be his first MVP and his career is coming to an end, whereas Drake May is going to have plenty of time to win others. And if this trajectory continues, God only knows how many he can win. Coach of the year, we got Liam Cohen for the Jaguars after his 13-4 season. Ben Johnson with the Chicago Bears, obviously 11-5. Mike McDonald for Seattle with 14-3. Kyle Shanahan of the 49ers after their 12-win performance. And then Mike Vrabel with the Patriots for turning around this entire Patriots team and really just saying, we're skipping the restart button.
Right.
We're going to get right back to it, baby.
Go back to the shows in August. We've been both saying it, but I think this one is much tougher than the
really
MVP.
Is.
Because I could seriously give all of them the Coach of the Year.
I mean, because if you want to sit there and make that argument for Vrabel that he turned around the Patriots in a year, you can't sit there and tell me the same thing about Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson came in, and Liam too, absolutely changed the entire cultures of a lot of these teams.
Which one are you leaning on? Because I like the Ben Johnson.
Personally, I love Ben Johnson. I love Liam Cohen and what they've been able to do, but I can't give it to them yet. I need to see what happens next year. If they can continue this next season, 100% they need to be at the top of this list. Me, if I'm giving it to anybody, it has to be Mike Vrabel.
See, and I would say the same thing that you just said about Ben Johnson. I would have to see another year.
I would love to say Mike McDonald as well for Seattle, just because of how good Seattle has looked this year. And I can't say anybody was expecting that at all.
And then NFC's coming out of Seattle. So.
Yeah, but at this point, I think Mike Vrabel nobody expected the Patriots to turn it around this quickly. I think we expected them to turn it around in a couple years, maybe 1 or 2, once Vrabel really got guys going. But to turn it around like this year and potentially get into a Super Bowl, that's what makes it a little bit more impressive to me than the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, but this is I think another thing I've been saying, I believe that these awards should be announced right after the end of the
Yeah.
regular season because they are a regular season award.
Yeah.
I could get, I mean, any of those coaches you listed are would be easily the coach of the year.
Yeah.
I just basically with the schedule, with the roster, what they how strong they went in free agency, I could go with Vrabel. I could totally understand that, and without a fight with it. But I like what Ben Johnson, he changed the whole mindset
Of
of
Caleb
this
and
team, the
everything.
crowd. They brought back the team
Yeah.
and dealing with a quarterback that a lot of people weren't sold on going
Yeah.
into this season. So I would go with Ben Johnson. I could also see Vrabel. I like what Liam's done. I like what, even with the Broncos. And I mean, there's a lot of great coaches, but I want to see what they look like next year.
Should we change the head coach and the MVP of the year to a postseason award? Because in my opinion, all five of these men, and I made this argument last year on the Greg Kerr show, and Greg tried to give me grief for it, but I still stand by this. No coach in the coach of the year category doesn't make the playoffs. Not a single one. If you want to sit there and tell me they do, please bring some examples. Because in my opinion, or at least in any season that I can remember, there has not been a coach that's won coach of the year that didn't make the playoffs. So would it not stand to reason, especially for a year like this year, where you got five coaches that easily could all win this award? Because I mean, we're not talking about Kyle Shanahan, but Shanahan, ever since he became the head coach of the 49ers, has done more with a injury-riddled team than I think any other coach in history of the NFL. And he's had to deal with that more than I think most people should ever have to deal with in their careers as a head coach. But would it not stand to reason that you really just give it to the coach that makes it the furthest in the playoffs?
Yeah, you just give
Like,
them along with the MVP.
well, the MVP, I guess you can argue both sides of it, but yeah, I mean, it would be stand to reason that it would go to the guy who leads his team to the Super Bowl, the most valuable player of that Super Bowl. So personally, I think the MVP either needs to just go player of the year of the regular season or Super Bowl MVP. Whoever the heck was the Super Bowl MVP, in my opinion, most of the time is the most valuable player of that entire year. Now, granted, sometimes you have the outliers, your Malcolm Smiths, your, who won it a couple years ago on the defensive side besides him. Regardless, you have guys who have an incredible Super Bowl that end up winning people over in the voting category. But traditionally, it goes to the quarterback or who is the best player on that team. So, would it not make sense to kind of make it a postseason award? I mean, because the rest of them, obviously, you can still have it be regular season. Offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, rookie of the year on both sides, comeback player of the year. Most of these guys sometimes do not make the playoffs. But in most of these categories, at least coach of the year, or in most of these instances with coach of the year and MVP, I argue that we should probably just shift it to an end of the year award. Just make it that way. I don't know.
Instead of the week before in their
Yeah,
SP fashion.
exactly. Let's take a break. I think Showdown is probably somewhere in the area getting ready to join us here. We'll talk some RPW, and on the other side, we'll get to the other end of the year finalists for these awards, your comeback player of the year, defensive player of the year, all of that. We'll get our thoughts, and we'll get yours as well. I'd love to hear from you guys. 661-842-2000. What do you guys think? Should the MVP be an end of the season award, or should it just strictly be done for the regular season? And if that's the case, do you agree with Sparky? Should it be given right after the season is done, right before the playoffs begin? I mean, it's a good argument. Let's get to our break. We'll get to our guys on the other side. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk, 101.1 FM, 1230 AM. It's time to talk to our friends over at Rodeo Pro Wrestling as they have their next event this weekend on Saturday. Rodeo Pro Wrestling Ascension over at the Bakersfield Police Activities League. You can get your tickets right now at their Instagram at Rodeo Pro Wrestling. But to talk to us about this, so is it this? It's not the same. It's not the same character technically, but Showdown Muerto is here today.
Yes.
So I love the changes to the mask, by the way.
Thank
Looks
you, man.
fantastic. Good to see you again.
Good to see you guys.
How have you been? How's everything going at Rodeo before we get into the event this weekend?
Everything's going great, man. We've been growing
Yeah.
so fast, dude. We got new people on the team.
I saw that. You guys got a lot of new faces for this next one.
Yeah.
Including a former WWE guy and New Japan guy.
Yep.
Darren Young will be joining you guys. What led to that partnership?
One of our guys actually trained under Darren Young.
Did you really?
Yep. Yeah, one of our guys, Ray Rico.
Oh,
Ray
well, it
Rico's
makes sense
actually
why
a
he'll be
student.
going up against him then.
Yeah, and 5 Star is also an alumni.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's pretty known, but they got some beef going on. So
Did
see
you?
what's gonna happen.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
can't
yeah.
wait to see that. Is there any build-up video that anybody can go check out before the event?
Ray Rico just put one out.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay,
He put one out against 5 Star.
Okay, so go
Yeah.
check it out on Ray Rico's Instagram page, I'm sure, and it'll
Yes.
get you ready for this weekend, especially since this will be a fantastic show. Now, last time we talked to you guys, though,
Yep.
you guys had the casket match and everything. We haven't gotten a chance to talk to you since then. How did that go?
Oh, it was good. I'm still alive.
Yeah, well, clearly.
Yeah.
No injuries or anything from that show, though? Everybody came out good?
Definitely some soreness.
Soreness, though?
Yeah. If you guys ever get a chance to see it, go to Rodeo Pro Wrestling on YouTube. Check out that banger of a match, man. You'll see how the crowd just goes nuts over this.
Absolutely.
I think the last time we actually spoke was for Last Call Brawl.
Was it before that? Was it after
that?
that?
Was after that, yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Am I mistaken?
We
I
did
thought
the
for sure.
final show of the year.
Oh, that's right. I'm so
Yep,
sorry. I
yep.
thought for sure we hadn't talked since
No,
then.
it's all good. My rodeo, Dead Man's Rodeo is my favorite one, anyways.
No, You can always go back and check out all of their past events at the YouTube channel as well, which they're all incredible to watch. This time, though, you guys have a slate of incredible matches, including the one we already talked about. There's a 6-man tag that includes Ray Rico and Darren, but who are their partners?
I believe 2 of their guys are coming from Dustin Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming from that academy.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Okay, so Gold Dust for your long-term WWE fans.
Yep.
And also son of Dusty.
Yep.
Everybody knows Cody, but no
Yep.
one really talks about Dustin, which is criminal in my opinion.
Yeah, and I believe one of them is their champion.
Is he really?
I believe so.
Okay, will he be bringing the belt with him?
I hope so, dude. I can't wait. Honestly, dude, I hope so.
Yeah.
Me and Dustin share a birthday, so I kind
Really?
of want to throw that out there. yeah.
Throw it out the ether, man. Maybe he'll show up too.
Maybe he'll pull up.
I mean, that would be incredible. Obviously, you guys are growing and getting more and more people. How have people been reaching out to you guys though? Are you going and recruiting these guys?
No, they honestly, like everybody, it's just been a natural kind of growth.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, my guy Hacksaw, he's become my manager. He's become the camera guy behind the scenes. He does all that for us. My spokesperson in a way. We got Jose Reports Wrestling. He's our exclusive backstage interviewer. We have now we have Voice of the Indies. I don't know if you've seen his stuff.
Yes, yeah. Actually, I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah.
The vignettes you guys have been doing, those are great.
Voice of the Indies, and then he actually produced this shirt,
which looks awesome, by the way.
The Muerto, he's producing the merchandise along with his girlfriend.
Okay. Which you can pick up at the Ascension show this weekend.
Yes, limited edition Ascension shirts only at Ascension.
And then also, before we get away from it, protein cookies too, from what I see.
Yes.
If you're watching the stream, they do have Muerto protein cookies you can pick up at this thing.
Yep, 32 grams of this bad boy. Showdown Muerto Straw Mellow Crunch.
Okay.
Yeah. You can get these only at the show.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Exclusively at Ascension.
So I've been watching ever since you came on the show. I've been watching on YouTube. I've been watching a lot. And my favorite personally is Doomsday.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got to throw in because Burdick knows I'm always about the clowns and the psychos.
Yeah.
I was looking up the matches for this weekend. And what is a eliminator gauntlet? because I know my boys Doomsday is in that. So I wanted to make sure I knew the rules before I posted anything crazy.
So here's it's like a 1v1, but after what, every 3 minutes or something like that? Every 3 minutes. Oh, after a
okay.
pinfall, someone comes
okay.
out. So it's technically like an Iron Man match.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Nice.
just literally like
So
whoever-
up to 6 guys will be coming into the ring,
Yeah.
possibly at one time.
Yeah, you gotta if you're number 1, good luck.
Okay.
If you're the last one, you got the best odds of winning.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But Doomsday actually has there's some beef between Doomsday and Ramel Justice.
I've been watching his vignettes too.
Yeah.
Really?
He got some good videos too.
Oh, and
Yeah.
who is the one I kept seeing? I think it just came out yesterday. Cristobal or something like that.
Oh, Cristo.
Yeah,
That dude
Cristo.
is
I
cool,
saw that. I
man.
was like, okay, this is pretty funny. I
Dude.
like the 70s feel to it a little bit.
Dude, he got my vote, dude.
Did he really?
Yeah. Him and Doomsday, I want to see them win, but Cristo, for some reason, like something about that video yesterday.
It was great. It
Yeah.
made me laugh, and I'm like, okay, this is somebody I can get behind just because, like, I like the promo, but he clearly has some comedic side to him too,
dude.
and I love that.
His song, what was that song he played?
Oh, I can't even remember.
We're not
Yeah,
going. Yeah,
We're not
dude.
gonna take it. Was a great way to put underneath.
Yeah. And then also you got Prince Gabriel, which is a real threat, dude, in Rodeo Pro. Have you seen him on?
I have not been able to see a whole ton. I won't lie. So what's going on with him?
Prince Gabriel is like on a tear, dude. He's
Really?
he's actually a beast. He's taken out a lot of people in that gauntlet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying he might be a dark horse here to pull off the whole thing?
He might be the damn horse to win the whole thing. He's that good.
Okay,
Yeah, he's
fantastic.
Scary, dude.
What other matches can we expect to see this weekend?
Oh, we got the return of Angie Savage
Okay.
versus PJ. She's gonna get some payback. We got what else? We got Mr. Manager. We got the other one. Oh, I forgot to mention under Team Darren Young or Team Fred Rosser.
Yeah,
now.
Fred Rosser. I'm sorry, he
Yes,
goes by
yeah.
Fred Rosser now.
Team Fred Rosser. You got 5-Star,
Mhm.
and Onyx. They're both from New York City.
Mhm.
So they're coming over here to sell the score with Ray Rico, and Ray Rico had to recruit some crazy guys.
Fantastic.
But then you got what? Oh yeah, with some new names. We got some new names. I've never heard of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never heard of them, but I've seen a lot of their stuff, and they can go, dude.
Okay.
They can go,
Fantastic.
yeah. Oh, the return of Skull and Bones.
I did see those two. Those two looked pretty interesting. What is the dynamic there? Is this more of like a boogeyman and his little helper kind of a thing, or what's going on with that?
They're the team of Voodoo, man.
Voodoo?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. One of them's the Shakespearean master or something, some sort of type deal. But they're a threat, dude. They're freaking. Have you seen them in person?
I have not.
Dude.
No, I saw pictures and I was like, okay, these two look kind of creepy.
Those pictures don't do any justice, dude. When you see
Really?
them, they're actually bigger in person.
Oh wow. Okay. Fantastic.
they're
Can't wait to see
massive.
that there this weekend.
Yeah.
We are running out of time though.
I'm looking
so-
at some of these guys too. Red
Yeah.
Wolf, Movie Mike. There's a bunch
Red
of them,
Wolf.
man. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. We actually
Absolutely.
we don't have plans tomorrow,
Do
so
you
I'm gonna
have
go
a
out
match
there.
in this
Full up.
rundown at all? Will you be taking anybody on Saturday?
Yeah, I'll be in action, but I just got to make sure it's the right time in case somebody wants to mess with the my homegirl Angie.
Of course, you got to be there to back her up
I'll
a
be in
little
the
bit.
bag, which just in
Okay.
case, just
So
in case.
we'll see you in action
Yeah,
a little bit then
yeah.
on Saturday.
For sure. Oh yeah, and we got the Epic coming back. He's gonna make.
I
a special
did see
appearance.
that.
Yes,
Okay.
and then Mono 6'7".
Yeah, I saw that as well.
he's out with an injury, but
he'll be there in
for the kids.
Probably
and
good for that.
Want to meet him?
God.
Yeah.
I can only imagine that actually kills right now.
Oh,
I
dude.
kind of hoped we would leave that in 2025.
Have you seen that new promo that Ray Rico cut?
I have not. I'll look at
I'm
it
looking
right
at
here
him
during
right
the break.
now.
Oh my God, Mondo's just speaking in the background, but it's freaking hilarious.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I'll check it out during
So
the break.
how do our listeners get tickets?
You go to the Rodeo Pro Wrestling Instagram page. You click on the link. It'll take you directly to Ticket Spice. Once you check out, type save 3 for $3 discount.
Okay.
And if you use the word vintage, you'll get another 10% off.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
Yes.
And
Okay.
you do the family pack.
Yes, and you still have the family pack. You got the
Awesome.
family pack deal, which is better. You bring 4 and you save a ton of money.
Yeah.
And then it is at the Bakersfield Police Activities League.
Yeah,
I
PayPal.
don't have the address in front of me. I know it's on E Street.
We'll have all the info on our Instagram as
Yeah.
well. We'll
Yes.
continue to pump this up, and hopefully you guys can get out there and You know,
And
buy some merch.
They can buy at the gate, right?
Yes, you can. It does go up a little bit, but that's why it's encouraged to purchase online
Right, absolutely.
beforehand. But
Well-
yeah, shout out to
Go
my
get your-
protein cookie
Go get
sponsor.
your protein
Absolutely,
cookie.
dude.
West Coast Nutra. I'm a sponsored athlete
Uh-huh.
for West Coast Nutra to local Bakersfield supplement
Fantastic.
store. And shout out to Vintage Lair, which is my personal local gym that I go to.
Love it, dude. Thank you so much for your time as
Thank you.
always. We really
Thank you very
appreciate it.
much.
We will get you on very soon, especially after this event, and we'll talk about what happened, man.
For sure, man.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. What's up?
Title coming soon.
Oh,
Title coming soon.
okay. Very true.
So we're doing
Very
big
true.
things,
You need. Can we do a thing where you kind of show it on the show? Like we break it out on the show?
We gotta see it.
I'll whip it out on the show next
Yeah?
time I come
Heck
here.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
once we actually
fantastic.
have it. Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, we will
Perfect.
talk to you then. We got to take a break real quick. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. You know,
I'm a big Seth fan. Everyone knows that. But when Lyra was messing up the match, and they went to her, and he was just like, "Oh my gosh!" And that was probably my
Dude,
favorite part,
but
besides
see-
EO cursing.
I'm glad. And shout out to our guy Showdown in Rodeo Pro Wrestling,
Oh,
real
yeah.
quick. That was fantastic. And he even left the protein cookie. So I'll try it here on air and let you guys know how it tastes.
Get out there, man.
Dude, it's going to be so
They
much
put a
fun.
lot
And
of work
there's
into that.
drop some hints here, but me and Sparky might be doing something with them here pretty soon. So you should check out
Yeah.
their streams, and you may see us there. Who knows? Uh, but no, I have to agree. That was, and I remember too while watching that match between Becky and Lyra, where her hands were tied, and I remember saying that. I remember being like, "She broke out though. When did those get put back on?" And now it made when I watched it, I was like, "Oh no,
See, I
that's
didn't remember
so
that.
much
I remember
worse."
when she went under the ring the second time. I'm like, what is
Yes.
she doing?
Yeah, that too.
I thought maybe somebody like Bailey, where somebody was under there with her, but of course
You
they
should have.
showed
I mean, and they said it themselves. Like, you should have just stayed out of them. You should
right.
have just stayed out of. Why you would go back in doesn't make
And she
any
explained it
sense.
perfect. I mean, she explained it just
Oh
like
yeah,
in
she was.
wrestling, when you lose something, let it go.
Yeah.
And she should. And she, instead of playing the camera game, like, oh, I hope the camera didn't pick it up. There's cameras everywhere.
Mhm. And that's what I'm saying. It's like you're there's no way in hell you're not going to get seen on the camera. Not with them. So I don't know. I really enjoyed Unreal. If you guys haven't watched it yet, go check it out on Netflix. It's a lot of fun. And honestly, even for you non-wrestling fans who are just curious how all this stuff works, or maybe curious why we care so much about the product and why we talk about it every week, just watch this show and you might get a better understanding of why that is. Because personally, it does really it shows my favorite part of this, which is the people that are
Yeah.
involved. I love the people involved, and I love that it's like a fraternity. I love that it's like it's very protected and very tight knit, and if you're not a part of it, you're not a part of it. Like, don't get me wrong, I am not a part of it, so they're not going to be walking up to me and saying, "Hey dude, how's it going?" and talking smack with me, because I'm not a part of it yet.
Yeah, I geek out
But
with the stuff with like the refs and the pre matchups
right,
where they set up, what they're gonna do for this and that and this. And you get to see the personal side. I mean, it,
right,
it was
absolutely.
touching to see, Becky's part where her dad sat there a couple years before in the Meadowlands, and I'm like, man, you see the personal side of it. It's not
Mhm.
just. And my favorite episode was the one that Heyman led, talking
Yes.
about the
Where
performing
he
arts of it.
hated the show and he has no love for Unreal at all, and he's just like, you're better off just asking me questions and I'll just answer them.
Like you're in
Like,
court.
because that's how it is. Like, that's how the old school people truly feel about it, and that's beautiful to me.
And that's
Like,
why the Behind the Ring series,
yes,
the
or
Dark Side of
Dark
the
Side of the
Ring,
Ring.
that is one of my favorite shows
Yes,
because they do that type of unreal behind the
yes,
scenes stuff that you never knew.
and they humanize them too. Like, we live in a world where everybody pretty much dehumanizes athletes just solely because of the money they make for doing what they do. And a lot of people don't respect that these people just play a game for a living. But at the same time, you don't understand what goes into what these guys have to do on a day-to-day basis, which is so much harder, I promise, than anything you do on a day-to-day basis. Like, there's not a single person alive that's listening to me right now that would be okay with walking into work today and literally having your entire day from the minute you walk in to the minute you leave be a hustle and bustle, move, 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 move. Let's go train, go do this, go do an interview, go do this, go do TV time. None of you could handle that in your everyday life. So that's why I have respect for them, because these guys handle stuff that I could not even imagine.
So if you're a big wrestling fan, keep it personal, keep it local. Go hit up the Rodeo Pro Wrestling. Check them out on Instagram. Tickets are on sale. Use
If
the
I can
Save
sneak
3.
over there tomorrow, I'm going
I'm
to.
going to try to get out there. And, it's out at the Beep House Center,
Yep.
Bakersfield Police Activity League. Go check it out. Rodeo Pro Wrestling on Instagram.
East 4th Street. You can pick up your tickets on their Instagram, like Sparky just said. And I don't think you're going to be disappointed whatsoever. We were talking about Micromania right before this, too, and there's a lot of fun. There's a lot of wrestling you can go and enjoy. Just go turn your brain off for a little bit, have a beer, and laugh and enjoy it with your friends. That's what everybody wants to do when we're watching sports. Let's take a break. Hopefully, we'll be talking to our guy Dan Betts on the other side about the opening of the Well Comedy Club. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk, 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m. Is Dan on the phone?
No.
No? We need an APB on Dan Betts.
Can we yes. Can we get it?
He's starting to worry us now.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Now, I get he's a tired man. He's a business owner. That's why I
Comedians don't
figured
sleep.
he needs sleep, man.
I could have left Showdown in here, man. What the hell, Betts?
We need the boy needs to sleep. We got an hour. He's
got a big night.
He can always call it.
College football playoff to remain at 12 teams.
Yeah, the cutoff was today. The arguments between the Big Ten and the SEC could not come to a halt. So we'll get a 12-team playoff next year instead of an extended 16. And the argument essentially was this: the SEC wanted to extend it to 16. And the only way the Big Ten would have said yes to that is if years down the line they would have extended it to 24. I think 24 is too many. If I'm being completely
way too
honest.
many. Might as well make it 64 if you're going to do that.
I was like, so everybody in the top 25 gets in except for one team? And actually, that's not even true because let's be honest, it would be 3 teams at the top 25 being left out because you're going to at least have to have 2 or 3 of those spots go to a non-Power 4 school, which traditionally don't end up in the top 25. So the top 20 to 22 teams get in, and 3 or 4 non-Power 4 schools is essentially what the Big Ten would want. I think 16 is perfect. I think Sankey's got it right on the head. Why do we need it any bigger than 16? Give us the top 13 to 14 teams, so the top half of the top 25, plus 2 or 3 or 4 at the most of non-Power 4 schools. I think that's fair. I think that's absolutely fair for everybody. Everybody gets an opportunity. There's more opportunity for these non-Power 4 schools to get in. And I just 16 teams fits perfectly for football. Like I said, we don't need in a ridiculous 64 to 128 team tournament in football. It just won't work. Players are going to get hurt too often. You're going to kill careers. So 16 to me was perfect. I really don't understand why
I'm feeling the same vibe. There's a lot of football fans coming out saying that they didn't want 17 games in the NFL, that they liked it better when it was 16 with 12 teams in the playoffs, not 14. I personally like the number one getting a bye week and the 7th seed. I like it the way it is. I understand money isn't being made, but just to get this story out of the way, I know Kevin Johnson, former NFL defensive lineman, was found dead at a homeless encampment in L.A. The medical examiners ruled the death a homicide caused by blunt head trauma and stab wounds. Johnson was 55 years old at the time of his death. Dang. He was a 4th-round NFL draft pick in 1993 and played for the Patriots, Vikings, Raiders, and Eagles.
Home invasion?
It sounds like the authorities believe he had been living at the encampment and was actually homeless. And there's going to be more. I'm sure there'll be more information coming out of it. So I don't want to say too much, but it is a sad story. Blunt head trauma and stab wounds were the cause.
Well, when we get more information, we'll share it with you guys. But I mean, I don't want to speak and overstep or say anything here, but these types of situations are always gruesome, and I hate to hear about it, but this is life, and sometimes life doesn't end pretty. And talking about life not going pretty, everybody's favorite ex-Michigan coach was also in court yesterday. Sherrone Moore is looking to get this entire thing wiped from and dismissed. He is currently on trial for breaking and entering, as we all know, into the, what do we call her now, Sparky? Ex-girlfriend?
Sure.
Yeah, let's just leave it at that. His former assistant at Michigan, ex-girlfriend, the girl he was stooping. And, when all of this came to a head, he lost his job, he lost his family, and had a mental breakdown, broke into her house with knives, threatening to kill himself and her. And he is looking right now to get all of that dismissed. There ain't no way. There ain't no way in hell they're gonna just dismiss this. No way. They can't. There's just if they dismiss this outside of her just coming forward and saying, you know what, I just don't want to deal with this anymore. Just go ahead, leave me alone. As long as this ends in a a restraining order, I don't care. But there is just no way in hell that a judge looks at this and says, "Yeah, Sherrone, sure, we're gonna let you go."
Yeah, we'll just dismiss this one.
No way in hell. This is the biggest sports story in months, if not years, and there is just no way in hell a judge and under the right mind would just let Sherrone walk away from that.
Hey, you ain't Stephon Diggs?
No way. No way in hell does that happen. Real quick, let's get to the rest of these end of the year awards for
Yes.
the NFL, and we'll see we'll get our thoughts on this and all of yours as well. Feel free to text or call in at any point in time. 661-842-2000 is the number to call right now. We can get your text messages out there. We'll start with the Defensive Player of the Year. All-Pro edge rusher Will Anderson on the list with his 12 sacks for the Houston Texans and their number 1 ranked defense. Broncos Nick Bonito with his 14 sacks for the Broncos and their second ranked defense. Aiden Hutchinson had 14 and a half, so that put him on the list as well. They even put Micah Parsons up here, who had 12 and a half and 13 and a half games before he got injured against the Broncos. But is anybody really going to sit there and say that there's not one man that deserves this award? That there's not one defensive player that was undoubtedly the best defensive player all season long? The man who had 5 sacks in a game this season? The man who broke the sack record? Is this not going to go to the one man on this list that is Myles freaking Garrett?
I'm sure it will.
It has to. Like, this is one of those runaway ones, right? Where it's just like, there's no way. There's no way they give this to anybody else.
How many did he finish with?
Let's see. He finished with 23.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be getting
that.
Yeah, absolutely. Comeback player of the year, we got Trevor Lawrence, Christian McCaffrey, as said earlier, Stephon Diggs of the New England Patriots, Aiden Hutchinson from the Lions, and Dak Prescott of the Cowboys.
Ooh.
I think you would have to go with Christian just solely because of the success that he had this year. And I say success as in he didn't get injured. This is a first for him. He did not get injured.
Then too.
Come on.
I like Trevor Lawrence on that one.
Do you really?
I do.
And
because I will be the one that will eat my words because I didn't think the kid had it.
No, with the trajectory his career was going, I think you weren't alone in that thought, though. I think a lot of people were starting to think maybe Trevor isn't worth the hype and wasn't worth the tank job. You know what I mean? So I think that's a very, very good choice, but I personally would give it to Christian, again, just because he led the 49ers this year, didn't get hurt, stayed healthy on a team that has been absolutely injury-ridden throughout his entirety there. Offensive player of the year, we got Puka Nacua, Bijan Robinson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Drake May, and Christian McCaffrey. We already talked about Christian and Drake May's stats, but Puka Nacua ended the year with 129 catches, 1,715 yards and 10 touchdowns. Smith and Jigba, 119 catches with 1,793 yards and 10 touchdowns. That led the league. Both of them pretty neck and neck. The person, though, that I believe should be getting this award, and maybe this is my biases here, but Bijan freaking Robinson should be getting Offensive Player of the Year. And for those of you who are yelling, well, no, Christian's a better running back. Let me lay this down for you. Christian McCaffrey this year ran for 1,202 yards with 10 touchdowns, had 102 catches for 924 yards. Bijan Robinson led the entire NFL in terms of yards from scrimmage with 2,298, 2 yards shy of 2,300. 1,478 yards of that was on the ground with 7 touchdowns, 78 passes caught for 820 yards and 4 scores. Ergo, he was better on the ground. He was just as good through the air, and he scored probably just as much. Bijan Robinson, ladies and gentlemen, deserves the Offensive Player of the Year. What are your thoughts?
I like it. I mean,
outside of Puka Nacua's incredible catch rate.
I was gonna say Stafford, Puka. I would put him and Bijan all in the same. I had Bijan in my fantasy, and he did well for me. Mm-hmm. So I think he had a great year, except the game against the Dolphins, the one the one team that kept him under 100 yards this season. But I will say Bijan, I think, is a runaway with that.
I would have to agree with you, but runaway, not so much.
I would personally. And what is Stafford on there?
No, he is not. He
I
is
don't
not
get
on the
that.
short list. Drake May beat him out in the quarterback
That is
area,
horrible.
which is, that's interesting to me as well, because obviously if you're going to be putting his number one wide receiver on there, I don't see why the quarterback shouldn't be in the same conversation.
What?
But again, the guys that are on this short list of names, I think all 5 of them are respectable. And like we said earlier, they may just give Stafford the MVP and give Drake May the offensive player of the year. They do that every year. They do it every single season.
We'll
so
just
why
give
wouldn't
one
they
to
just
one
continue?
and one to the other?
Defensive rookie of the year. Don't know why this man's name is on here, but Giants edge rusher Abdul Carter. No. Seahawks defensive back Nick Amawari absolutely deserves to be on the list. Falcons edge rusher James Pierce. Browns linebacker Carson Schweschinger.
Ding, ding, ding.
And Falcons safety Xavier Watts are all your finalists. It is hard for me to pick against Schweschinger, but again, maybe my biases is coming out here. I would love to see James Pierce or Xavier Watts win this award, but Schweschinger had an incredible season for the Browns, man.
He is going to be something in the future, man.
I
I would think he gets this one easily.
It's so crazy to see how good this draft went for the Cleveland Browns, and we're still talking about them potentially not starting one of the 2 quarterbacks they took in it.
Yeah, and I'm wondering I'm trying to remember the other linebacker for the Patriots that is a rookie, because he had a hell of a season too.
Oh, was it Ellis?
I'm not sure
Ellis
what his name was. He reminds me of Schweschinger.
Does he really?
He plays that same mindset, and he was a bad man. But I think it's the Browns linebacker. I mean, if you didn't get to see this kid, he is all over the field. He is in coverage. He's popping fools. I mean, he is a hell of a linebacker edge. He plays all over the field.
He really does. I mean, it's one of those prototypical linebackers that they've been trying to find the last couple years that can run with a tight end that's athletic, but at the same time, he's big enough to stop pretty much any running back. And we're talking about a guy who played alongside Myles Garrett with a great defensive lineman in his own right next to him in Mason Graham, who was also a part of this. But I think that this guy really came in and was the shocker of the draft for them outside of Harold Fannin. I think Harold Fannin, the tight end, is another one of those shockers, but nobody was talking about Schweschinger when they drafted him. And he came in and made this his defense. He looked at Myles and said, all I want you to do is rush the quarterback. I'll take care of everything else. And that's genuinely what he did throughout the entire season. So I have to agree. It's going to be hard to go against Schweschinger in this, but I would love to see James Pierce just solely because he got 9.5 sacks this season. I'm very excited to see what the defensive pieces for Atlanta can do as well going forward. Offensive rookie of the year, Giants quarterback Jackson Dart, Buccaneers wide receiver Emeka Egbuka, the Patriots running back Travion Henderson, Panthers wide receiver Tet McMillan, and Saints quarterback Tyler Shuck are your finalists. We talked about this last week, and Sparky made a very, very, very good argument that I think will hold up here, why Tet McMillan will win this offensive rookie of the year. And that's because he is the only rookie from beginning to end in this season that has been consistent and gone upwards. We've seen guys like Jackson Dart come out and impress, but there have been moments where he's kind of looked off. And definitely with the injury concerns, I think that has to factor in a little bit. Emeka had an incredible start to the season, but then faded off in the second half. Travion Henderson could barely see the field in the first half of the season for some reason. And then the second half, when Stevenson got hurt, took all the opportunity in the world and became essentially the New England Patriots' number 1 running back for the foreseeable future. And Tyler Shuck made a believer out of me because God, did I not believe in this kid at all. And my God, did the last 5 games of the season make him look like a legit quarterback in the NFL. So I will concede in that regard. But in my personal opinion, I think you said it last week, my friend, Tet McMillan is the rookie of the year on the offensive side.
Yeah, I'm still going to back that. I mean, if it wasn't for injuries, I mean, because there's a lot. I mean, the Scattabos, there's a lot of young talent, and you're going to see them next year. And hopefully they don't get the sophomore slumps. But I mean, there was some guys that were projected to be a lot better than what we saw. It could be that they just took longer to adapt to the speed of the NFL, or maybe the schemes didn't work. I mean, I was reading some crazy stat that the what was the Packers number one receiver
Golden.
or the rookie receiver, yeah, didn't get a touchdown this season
Nope.
until I mean, like wow, because he was supposed to be, I mean, the guy.
But again, that might have just been the overall hype that we came in with the Packers as a whole. Like everybody was just kind of assuming that they figured it out or would figure it out this
And
year.
the same with the Buccaneers receiver. I mean, he came out looking good, and there was a lot of injuries in Tampa, especially in that wide receiver room. And I think he's deserving a solid option out in Tampa now. People know who he is, and there's going to be a lot of these, and the injuries, and see how they adapt. A lot of coach changes, see how they fit in new schemes next season.
Tampa is interesting to me because they found their successors to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in the same draft class, in my opinion. Between Emeka and Tez Johnson, I think you're set at wide receiver. But I agree, there was something that happened halfway through the year. Maybe it was an injury or just something derailed his momentum.
Did they play in San Francisco?
I mean, it's entirely possible. Did they practice next to that thing? Which, by the way, weeks ago, we had heard that the 49ers poo-pooed that entire theory that the power plant was part of this. Guess what they came out and said yesterday, or 2 days ago, rather, that they are absolutely looking into every possible outlet that could be causing these injuries, including the theory about the PG&E power plant right next door. And I'm telling you, I think there's more validity to this than originally thought. Sure, back in the day, you may have practiced next to this, but we weren't emitting nearly as much electricity back then as we do today. And that matters. That absolutely matters. So I think the 49ers are going to learn very quickly that practicing next to that PG&E power plant there is not going to be very beneficial towards your team in the future.
Laughing. George Kittle tweeted a picture of Vecna, and he said, if you're investigating, I've got the answer right here. The upside down is in San Francisco.
I mean, that is entirely possible as well, because there's got to be something. This is far beyond the injury bug. This is an infestation. This is just, they can't get away from it. So there has to be something that you guys are either doing in practice, just like the old Lane Kiffin days at USC when the players were getting hurt too often because their practices were going too hard. Like maybe it's that, or just it has to do with some sort of outlying, force that really nobody can see or control at the moment. And we'll go from there. But there is some sort of voodoo, hoodoo, something over the 49ers that does not allow them to stay healthy. It really is unfortunate.
Let's take a break and we'll get to what we've been waiting all week to get into, our wrestling segment, because I want to hear what you thought of the final episodes of Unreal. I know what's his face from DIY or whatever.
Yes,
DY,
Tommaso is gone.
Is gone. We got a preview of tonight's SmackDown leading right into Saturday night's main event. I mean, we've got some busy things going on in wrestling and Rodeo Pro Wrestling and Micromania. I mean, if you don't have plans tonight, the Well is opening. You can go see Hans Kim. Tickets are on sale at thewellcomedyclub.com. And you can go take the family out to Rodeo Pro Wrestling. And I mean, we're setting up your weekend.
Absolutely. I mean, there's too much to do this weekend for you to sit at home. I mean, Sunday, sit at home and watch football. Let's be fair. But Saturday, there's plenty for you to go do. Get out with the family. Go enjoy something. Go laugh. Have a beer. It'll be fun. Let's take a break. On the other side, we'll talk about all that type of stuff in the world of pro wrestling. Plus, we got to talk about the Honor Flight Open as well, which is just announced here at American General Media. We have a date for you guys who are golf fans that want to join us and donate to a very, very good cause, which is Honor Flight. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk.
This one's for Bets, the sleepyhead. I had the Chicago Bulls theme song all set up for you. Coming down the
I was
aisle.
really excited to talk to him about that Bears game too.
Man,
Caleb Williams is magic. He's cut off. That might actually keep the Bears at Soldier Field.
he has cut off. He's been cut off.
Yeah, Chris Phillips just broke the line.
Jonathan Kaminga,
Yes.
after getting some playtime, after being riding the bench, twists his ankle, messes up, hyperextends his knee, and now he's just, I don't know if that hurts his trade value or
absolutely.
if he's now just stuck. But Coach Kerr did come out and say he doesn't think it's anything serious. But I wanted to bring this up not only because of the Warriors season is just
This
Yes,
team
yes,
can
you're right.
Yeah, no, again, we're playing for San Francisco.
right.
Just saying.
But no, I read this assistant coach with the Warriors came out yesterday and said that he believes that he is not, or the team is not expecting Steve Kerr to return next year as the head coach.
See, I had heard a rumor of this, but it's kind of like a Mike Tomlin situation where they're not necessarily going to fire him. It's more that he's going to step away from coaching and just probably go back to the booth because he can make just as much money doing that
Or more,
and
yeah.
or more. And to be honest, I just think that this time is done. I think that they've made their run. He really came back for that solely to make that run with the Warriors. I don't see him doubling up with anybody else. So it would only make sense that this happens again. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. And tonight we got the SmackDown going into the Saturday night main event, and I'm looking at it. It is live from Montreal, Quebec,
It is.
Canada, at 5 p.m.
We get a preview of the Fatal 4-Way as Trick Williams and Damian Priest will be going one-on-one. I'm pretty sure we're going to be getting a face-off between Cody and Jacob, which this match, dude, I'm telling
I
you,
like that match, dude.
I didn't expect to be getting this match, especially right away.
Especially that quick,
right
and
away.
it's a receipt match.
Right.
The opening match, I believe, tonight is supposed to be Nathan Frazier against Gargano.
Ooh, that'll be a fun one, especially with Tommaso.
So who's Nathan Frazier?
So Nathan Frazier is part of Fraxium.
Okay.
He's the long-haired blonde guy at Fraxium, who is the British guy, British wrestler, fantastic talent from NXT that got called up last year. And this is more the payoff of all the BS that he has been dealing with Johnny Gargano, the stealing of the mask, the tricking him into thinking he's Axiom, all that type of stuff. So they're pretty much, I think, just going to be wrapping up this DIY Fraxium rivalry with a one-on-one between the two of them.
Please, thank you. And then Gargano's tag team partner is stepping away from the WWE.
Yeah, Tommaso Ciampa, the longtime 10-year vet of the company. If you are a longtime fan of the WWE, you remember who was he representing? He was a lawyer. He played a lawyer years ago when he actually had hair and no beard. And I can't remember who he was defending, but it ended with him getting a choke slam. That was kind of his first iteration into the company. And he has been growing since then. But everybody knows him as Tommaso Ciampa, the gold-loving gremlin down there in NXT. I'm not even joking.
No,
that's literally what they call him.
Name.
And he released this on his social media the other day, pretty much confirming that his contract with the company is up and they will not be renewing it. But he said, in the near future, or the very near future, my contract with the WWE will officially come to an end. I'd like to thank every single person that contributed in the last 10 years to this incredible journey. He names off the camera crew, all of that type of stuff, the people that were a part of the company. And sorry for anybody I missed. A very special thank you to all of the men and women who have shared the ring and locker room with nothing but love and respect. And I would be remiss not to give a special thank you to my black and gold family. You will forever hold an incredibly special place in my heart, etc., etc. This is a heartbreaker for a lot of longtime NXT black and gold fans because Tommaso was huge in this entire area. But I cannot really deny that his career in the last couple months, especially since they brought DIY back, kinda has started to dwindle. When it first happened, everybody was excited to see the two of them back together again. We were excited to see the tag team titles put on him at one point. And it's just kind of fizzled out from there. We saw a very short beef with Ilya Dragunov for the U.S. title, and that
It looks like they didn't know what to do with it.
yeah, and I really just feel like this is one of those instances in pro wrestling right now where he is the unfortunate beneficiary of just a really, really, really deep roster.
Yeah.
Like, if you had put Tommaso in any other era of wrestling where they were struggling, he would have been a main eventer. He would have been an easy main eventer.
I think that's what you told me yesterday. I mean, I think he'd be a perfect fit to be a heavy hitter in AEW.
I was just about to get to that. I think that is what the benefit of this move is that Tommaso will most likely get another contract with either TNA or AEW, whichever one chooses to reach out to him first and give him more money. And he will be one of the best wrestlers on those programs. He really will. He is that good at what he does. It's just at this point, WWE is too deep and there's too many faces that you can't ignore. And unfortunately, Tommaso now is just one of those faces, at least in my opinion, that has kind of faded away into obscurity the last couple of years.
And then SmackDown tonight, we get a WWE Women's Tag Team Title #1 contender triple threat with Alexa and Charlotte, with Julia and Kiana James, with Lash Legend and Nia. Winner will get the #1 contending for the tag team titles.
I'm glad that you brought this match up because it highlights something that I learned while watching WWE Unreal. Oh, no, actually, no, I didn't learn on Unreal. I learned it while listening to the latest interview on Cody's podcast, What Do You Want to Talk About? And I actually meant to cut the audio. It's between him and The Undertaker. And at the very, very end, he talks about how his dad, when we're growing up with our dads, especially if your dad's a sports guy, he usually asks you your thoughts on, players that you like or whatever. And Dusty's way of doing that would look at Dustin and Cody and say, what's your War Games team? Which is great for a wrestling family. That's awesome. What's your War Games team? That is an incredible question. And as like every kid, you take the top of the top. Cody would always say The Rock, Stone Cold, Undertaker, Ric Flair, and I don't know, somebody else that's amazing at the time. And Dusty would always say, nah, that doesn't work. It's not going to work. And Cody finally asked, why? Why doesn't that work? Like those are all incredible wrestlers. How does that not work? They would win. And he said, exactly. That's the problem. There's nobody there that could eat the pin. There's nobody there that could lose. And then you look at a match like this where you have Nia Jax, Lash Legend. You have Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. And you have, Julia and her tag team partner, Kiana.
Love her.
But let's be honest. There is a glaring loser in this three-way.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, that's what I love. And just to highlight more about what these things do in these podcasts and these Unreal shows, you learn this type of stuff about the industry that you never would have thought about. Because I think that's something that the traditional wrestling fan would never think about. We always think about these dream matches that we would always love to see. But does anybody ever consider that somebody's got to lose that match?
Mm-hmm. It was like the Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. It always goes back to me.
Right.
Is like neither of those guys can lose, and why are they fighting? And that's another thing. I'll wait until I get through these matches because there was two things I wanted to bounce off you about Unreal. But the main event tonight with the Wyatts and the MFTs for the titles. Do you think they drop it tonight?
Yeah, probably. I think the MFTs are really starting to ramp up to getting some gold around their waists. And as much as I love the Wyatt Six, they really haven't done anything with them. Like the most we've gotten out of them is the freaking mazes at Universal, which I enjoyed thoroughly. Do not get me wrong. Still have the videos, but they haven't done anything with them. They haven't really showed anything about them that we would expect them to be around for a lot longer than they are. So,
and then to wrap up our Saturday night main event, which I'm expecting at least a match or maybe two announced tonight. But as of right now, we've got Rhea and Io against Liv and Roxanne, which I am looking forward to that match.
It's going to be so much fun to watch. I don't see Liv and Io losing yet, though. I don't know.
Or Rio.
Yeah, I don't see Rio losing.
I can see Liv and Roxanne, but I can see him setting it up.
Liv and Io, didn't I?
I can also see it setting
Rhea
it
and
up.
Io.
The other one is the Fatal 4-Way for the #1 contender for the championship was Orton, Sammy, Damian Priest, and Trick.
So Trick
This
is eating
one's
the
tough.
pin.
You think he's gonna eat the pin?
Trick is eating the pin
From?
probably Sammy.
See, I'm leaning on Orton.
I would love to see Orton, but something tells me that they do this Sammy beef with Drew right at Riyadh, and we get this thing
Get it out of the
rolling.
way. And then finally is Cody and Jacob, which is a hell
Underrated
of a
match here. I'm still to this day just disappointed we never got the opportunity to sit down with Jacob like we were supposed to. And I would have loved to have asked, because this was one of those matches that I was curious about. What I was going to ask him was, of the incredible list of guys that are on the roster today, who's the one you can't wait to get in the ring with the most? And I guarantee you he probably would have said Cody.
Yeah.
Because this
Cody or
match
Cena
fits so well, and nobody saw
gosh.
it coming, because this is these are two giants. These are two colossal giants that we're going to see absolutely go at it this weekend, and it's going to be so much fun to watch.
Well, that sets up my two things I wanted to bounce off you. I finally finished Unreal. I got home, I did my prep, and I'm like, all right, leave me alone for the next 2 hours. I'm watching the last two episodes. Two things I got out of that. Not only a side note is I love Cena. I didn't think I was going to like the guy because I didn't watch the 19 years. I've watched the final year or two. The guy won me over, and I got to see everything all into one for that last tour. And I got to see him live here in Bakersfield.
I hope, because I know that they do this did on Peacock, but I hope at some point we get just a playlist of all of John's greatest matches, so I can just send it to you so you could sit there and watch all of them in a row. Because trust me, my God, was this guy's career so much fun.
So my number one, one of two things. One was the comments about Chelsea that hit me and it stuck, because I think Chelsea is one of the best women fighters. And I don't know if it's her character, if it's the WWE, because she talks about it all the time, that she takes losses.
Are you referring to the ones that Michael Hayes said where she's the perfect loser, essentially?
Which I know what he's meaning about it, because there's people that are perfect to push over the next guy.
Right.
And his comment was taken out the wrong way, because the way he said it is she's not a world champion type wrestler.
Well, she's not on the level. Well, the way he phrased it was she's not on the level of a Charlotte or a Jade. And I disagree with that as well, because I mean the fan base themselves proves that she is. But I think that he is disregarding all of her work before she came to the WWE. She mentioned it in the paper, or in the Unreal series, her matches with Penta.
He broke her nose.
Yes. That is a man.
Yes.
Now, for those of you who do not follow wrestling, Penta is a man. Penta is one of the most brutal wrestlers of all time. Just barely came to the WWE at the end of his career. I say the end of his career, but you get what I mean. Towards the end.
Yeah.
And she took him on one-on-one in Lucha Underground. That is the match that got me into Lucha Underground. I'm not even going to lie to you. Yeah. I had no idea what it was. But then when I saw Penta and Charlotte, or in Chelsea, which I can't remember the name she was going by as at the time.
Yeah.
But I said, oh my God, this is amazing. And then I saw Penta against EO and her group at the time. That was amazing. Then I saw Dom and Ray get in on it. And I was like, okay, this is legit. This is some fun stuff. And now we get AAA, which is essentially the baby of that. But no, I agree with you. She, in a wrestling sense, is at that level and is so good at what she does. But in sense of wrestling business, she is that character. She's the one that, although everybody loves and adores her, and most of the time is the joke. I mean,
yeah,
the dumpster match that we saw with Michin, where she ended up being the brunt of the joke.
Yeah.
But that's kind of part of the character. I think that's why she's so good, is because she is the one that, okay, she's the ultimate underdog that you never really expect to beat a big name like that.
Oh, and then they broke it down.
Any given day she could.
Because they broke down the list. Okay, well, if they give her the title, who's she going to fight? And they list off Michin and all these other people. And they're like, it's taking or giving her the title is just stupid, because we ran all these stories. I think personally, the style that she does, I understand she's not the Nepo baby, or she's not the big Charlotte Flairs or the big Rhea Ripleys.
No,
but I mean, the
WWE
has been, I personally think, wasting a lot of Rhea's time and her style, because I think Rhea should be main eventing not tag teaming right now.
Right.
And I think we're getting very close to the end of Bliss and Charlotte. I think we're getting to the end of Rio. I think they're gonna get back into
Right.
the World Championship matches, but I think it'd be time for Chelsea to either take a step up forward into a bigger match, or maybe taking into a different type of tag team with somebody else.
Well, I think that's what they were kind of trying to do with Jade at one point on SmackDown, was kind of see how that would work, if it would actually reach that level of, a PLE match. Can we actually see Chelsea and Jade on a big stage at like Backlash? And I just don't think that they ever saw it, which is why you saw the end of it on SmackDown, and Jade clearly took every bit of it.
Yes.
But that's kind of the thing that's why I understand it from a business sense, because there's always got to be someone that loses. And that doesn't mean these people are bad at their jobs. And in fact, that's why they're around so long. Santino Marella was in the WWE for so long because he was entertaining, he was funny, and he was willing to lose. Not every wrestler can win every match. And you're right. Like, she's not necessarily seen as a main eventer, but she is the queen of the indies. I will give her that. She may be married to Matt Cardona, who's the king of the indies, and you get it from that alone, but she is the queen of the indies to me, and she will forever be known as that. And I think that this really showed that. This docuseries showed a great side of her, that she is a very, very hard worker. She's somebody that's been in the industry her entire life and isn't just this pretty face that they throw out there because she's, fun on the microphone. She genuinely is good at what she does. And I agree with you that maybe it isn't fun to see some of these big name stars in the tag team division right now. But that's kind of how wrestling works, is that you get the bigger names out of the way and into a different division for a little while, so these lesser known women can get their shot at the titles, because there's no way in hell that we're ever going to go into a match between Rhea and Chelsea Green and expect Chelsea to win.
Yeah.
We're not going to see Chelsea do the unpretty her on Rhea ever.
No, but I could see her, if she had a tag team partner that is in that realm,
right,
to lift her.
That is absolutely fair. Like if she got into a tag team with Nia Jax or Lash Legend, 100%. But that's kind of the point, is that when you remove those obstacles out of the way of the mid-carders and the women that have the titles now, one, they get to go do different stuff, which I'm sure they're all excited to work with each other instead of just having to do all of this by themselves for a while. It's a good break. While at the same time, you're giving women like Raquel, you're giving women like Roxanne, like Julia, like Chelsea. All these other women are getting an opportunity to actually get a shot at a belt and have the audience believe, oh, hey, she's actually got a shot here. Because this champion, as much as we love Stephanie, is not on the level of a Rhea Ripley or an Io Sky yet. So she's still beatable, which would give all of these women the opportunity to do that. That's why in the business sense, that's the only thing.
And they probably are just in that same business where, the Tiffany long year of undefeated matches, and now we're
I'm sorry, and that was the other woman that was lined up. It wasn't Jade, it was Tiffy. They were comparing her to Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. And honestly, to be fair, he's not wrong. Like, he's not wrong. In terms of star power and star-studded ability, Charlotte and Tiffy absolutely have more athletic ability than Chelsea does. Can they out-wrestle her, though? Charlotte probably could. I don't think Tiffy can. I'd give that to Chelsea, or at least what she'd be willing to do in a wrestling match as a traditional wrestler. So that's why I have to agree with you that I don't think she gets the love she deserves backstage. But then again, she kind of does, because she does her job better than anybody else.
Yeah, and the other thing, I just have to throw out some love for Jelly Roll, man. I'm not a Jelly Roll musician fan.
I've never wanted to listen to this man's music more in my life.
Right.
And I'm not a country guy at all. I love Jelly, though. Any song that he's popped in on, and some of my favorite artists, I've traditionally loved that song. But yeah, after watching that, I was like, I got a whole new respect. It's just like the Bad Bunny situation. Whole new respect for you, my guy. Whole different level of respect for Jelly Roll. And he is so lovable. 40-year-old man who, and I love the story too, that the whole reason he wanted to lose all the weight was because of what happened at that WWE show. Because it took two grown men to pick him up. And he said, wow, that was kind of embarrassing. I don't want that anymore. That's awesome. That is really cool. Like, don't get me wrong. As much as some people are like, oh, yeah, an embarrassing moment's awesome. Yeah, it kind of is. Because if it highlights you doing better in your life and getting healthier, absolutely, dude. As much of a bad moment as that may have been for you for a second, it's also a great one because it puts you on the right track to living longer. That's what everybody wants. That's at the day what everybody wants. So let's take a break, though. On the other side, we'll get to some of these other miscellaneous stories. We'll get out of the wrestling world. It was a lot of fun to talk about, but I'm sure most of you are bored out of your minds who are not wrestling
And
fans.
we'll get our picks for this weekend.
Yes, because we got two incredible games for you right here on KGEO Sports Talk. You can hear them as they are live on this station. So let's take a break. And on the other side, we'll talk about that and Honor Flight Open as well. As we got a date for you. If you guys are golf fans or if you just enjoy golfing, you want to get in on this tournament. It's a lot of fun, and all of the proceeds go to a fantastic charity in Honor Flight. So we'll talk about that on the other side as well. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Always good when we can end with some Metallica. Welcome back. Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk, 101.1 FM, 1230 AM. If you're a radio listener, you just heard it right now. But the Honor Flight Open is back here in 2026, March 23rd. It is a Monday. It'll be out there at Bakersfield Country Club. They are looking for sponsors, players, and donations. If you're watching the stream, I'm putting up the flyer right there. Go to honorflightopen.com, honorflightopen.com if you would like to get involved, if you have a team that would like to play, or if you would like to be a donator or a sponsor for one of the holes. All proceeds go to Honor Flight Kern County. It is a charity organization that takes our veterans here locally and in the Fresno and surrounding areas to DC to go see their war memorials. And honestly, it is a life-changing experience. I have been working with the Ralph Bailey Show for quite some time now, and we do this every single year. We do a Honor Flight fundraiser, and the stories that you hear from these men and women are just incredible. It's life-changing, not only for them, but for the people who get to go with them as guardians, sometimes family members. It opens up a whole new level to their life. And honestly, every person that has been to war or has fought for us here in America deserves some sort of recognition for that. And they all deserve to be welcomed home with open arms. That's just my personal opinion. So donate to Honor Flight. Come join us at the Honor Flight Open March 23rd at Bakersfield Country Club. We'll pump that up from here until the event itself. We have a caller.
We have Daily Dave
Mr.
on the Honor Flight.
Mr. Dave.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I support Honor Flight. I've been a regular listener for Ralph Bailey. Been calling in for probably over 5 years.
Well, you've been a part of the tournament, have you not? Have you not played with us?
I've played. I've been up there to watch. Last year I couldn't participate because of some injuries.
That's right.
But I went up there last year and talked to George Culver and Ralph and some of the other players, and just met some of the patriots that have been on Honor Flight or planning to go on Honor Flight. I go down to the airport and support our Honor Flight members. It's just a great thing that Bakersfield's done, Kern County's done, and I'm a big supporter. So I'm hoping this year, I'm feeling better. I'm hoping this year to get involved and get my my ticket to play out there.
We hope to see you out there, sir. And real quick, because I only have a minute left, but talk to the listeners real quick in less than a minute on how this experience was for you playing in the tournament itself. How much fun did you have?
Oh, we had a blast. It was the year Ralph broke his club. Our group, he grabbed the club, or the guy in the club, and he broke the club out there. We were laughing, and just the camaraderie of playing with veterans, playing with. I think I played that year with the guys that won on the radio program. They got to play for free, or
right.
Or
yeah,
what.
we had put up a team of listeners for the Ralph Bailey show. I remember that. Yes,
and they put me with that group. But just to be out there and listening to the stories, talking to the people, the camaraderie, it's just a great event. And March is going to be great weather.
Absolutely.
And every time I've gone out there, whether to play or support, it's a great event.
Absolutely. Could not agree with you more, sir. And we have a trick shot guy that comes out there every year, too. He's fantastic. He does some really cool stuff with a golf ball that you never thought you'd ever be able to see. I'm talking about shots from his knees. This is some crazy, crazy stuff. But, Dave, thank you so much for your time, my friend. We really appreciate you listening, as always. And we appreciate all of you as well for listening and joining us on all social media platforms. Just look up the Early Bird Special. We do video every single day on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can join us back here on Monday, 7 to 9. But until then, Sparky, let's go home.